Hi everyone, my name is Ambreen and today I will show you on how to make Pindya and Aloo, which is also known as okra and potatoes. And apart from okra, it's also known as ladies' fingers. I don't quite know why they call them, but anyway, enjoy my video. Right, these are my Pindya. They are washed and they are dried. So make sure before you cook them, you dry them out really well. You don't want to have them wet because they'll turn very soggy and a lot of slime comes out of them. So make sure they're completely dry. Is okra a superfood? I would say yes, because it's a nice green vegetable. It is also a good source of potassium and calcium and high in antioxidants, fibre and vitamin C. So the oil from the okra is high in good fat that's unsaturated. So it's renowned as the superfood. So okra is known to have high levels of vitamin A, vitamin C and many other antioxidants like I had mentioned earlier, making it a helpful alternative option for reducing, wait for this, wrinkles, helping with acne and acne scars, and reducing skin irritations or any blemishes. So okra is very good for your skin. So ladies or gentlemen, do try eating a lot of okra because it's got a lot of health benefits. So you're drinking okra water is a popular new method of using okra. Some have suggested that drinking it helps lessen the symptoms of diabetes. It's not necessary that your diabetes will go away, it just helps the symptoms. So the drink is made by putting okra pods in water and soaking them overnight. Some of the valuable nutrients in the skin and seed pods will also be absorbed in the water. So it's quite a good beneficial tip. Okay, I've got one large onion and one medium-sized onion, which I'll be peeling first. Okay, moving on, I've got my wok there ready. So now in the wok, I'll be cutting my onion into very thin slices. When you do cook okra, make sure your slices are very, very thin. You don't want to keep your slices too chunky. That's your own preference. I prefer cutting them very fine. You can cut them chunky if you want, but I think it's more crunchy and tastier if you cut them very fine. Okay, my onions are ready to be cooked. Okay, so put your onions onto the side. And now you need your okra. So my okra is washed and it's dried. Now I'll be chopping off the heads of the okra. We need Pindya. So when you cut them, make sure you look to see if they're clean on the inside. Sometimes you have insects that could be hiding around in your Pindya. So make sure you do check. So chop off each head. When you do purchase your okra, your Pindya, make sure they're not too hard and they're not too soft. So just right in between. So it's easy to cook and cut. So far everything is clean. Okay, so now look at this okra, look how hard it is. It's very hard for me to cut, so I won't be using that in my cooking. So because if I do use it, it won't cook very well because it's very hard. When you do purchase your Pindya, make sure they're nice and green. You don't want them to be slightly discoloured. Discolouring, I mean, it be slightly black from the outside. So make sure they're nice and green. Then you know that your okra is fresh. So carry on cutting and just keep checking too. If you do want to add your okra into your chicken curry or your lamb curry, what you can do is get a wok and separately put a bit of oil in the wok and cook your Pindya in there. And once they are fully cooked, and once your lamb or your chicken curry is fully cooked, just add them in and then cook them for another 5 minutes. Right, the head's all taken off, and now I'll be cutting my okra into small pieces. I like cooking my okra like this because I find it cooks a lot quicker if you cut them into small pieces. A lot of people do cut them into very big pieces, but I prefer small pieces like this. Okay, now we are ready to cook our okra. So I have placed my onions are in my wok already. So now I'll be adding in my Pindya. Once I've done that, I'll be adding in some tomatoes. I use 2 tomatoes here. So you cut them in 4s. I would use fresh tomatoes. I wouldn't use frozen because I don't want any moisture in my cooking. Then I've added in some salt, that's to taste. So you put the salt according to your taste. After I put the salt in, I'll be adding in my chilies. Again, that's to your own taste. I like my Pindya spicy. Pindya do taste nice when they're spicy. And then finally I'll be adding in some oil. That's everything so far. Once I've done that, I'll put my gas on and I will put the gas on the medium heat. So make sure you mix everything. One thing about Pindya you must learn and must know, don't over mix it. If you over mix it, your seeds will all come out. So you just stir it with love, like this, very gently. And that is what it should be looking like so far. So after about 10 minutes, come back to your wok and stir it very, very gently like this. You can already see the onions are melting and the okra is releasing the gooey substance that comes out of it. So one thing about okra is you need to cook it really well. Make sure all that gooiness is gone. So you need to cook it really well. So then once you've stirred that, you can come back to the wok after 10 minutes. Right here you can already see how quick that's melting. It's melting very, very fast, so I'll mix it very, very gently. I'll put my heat slightly higher so the water evaporates a lot quicker. So just keep stirring. You can see the tomatoes are melting too. Okay, at this stage, this is after 20 minutes, taste your salt and your chilies. If need be, you can always add more. Okay, so now I'll be adding in some green chilies. So I'll cut them fine. So I've added in 2 green chilies. So come back to the wok every 5 minutes now. Okay, I'm going to add potatoes in my Pindya. So 3 medium-sized potatoes should be enough. So peel your potatoes first. Okay, I've washed my potatoes. Now I'll be cutting my potatoes into small pieces. It's up to you how you cut your potatoes, but I cut my potatoes in thin dices. You can cut them into strips so they're thin like chips, but I prefer cutting them like this. So I'll cut them whatever size you prefer, as long as they're not too thick. Okay, at this stage I'll be adding in our potatoes. So when the pindya are half cooked, you add your potatoes in. Stir it in very, very slowly, just fold it in. Don't over mix it. At this stage, I've added in 1 teaspoon of crushed coriander. That's your preference, but it is tasty with crushed coriander. You don't have to put that in if you don't want, but it's a nice flavour. Okay, now I'm going to add in crushed pomegranate. So this is dried pomegranate crushed. I've added in 1 teaspoon. I do like that nice tangy taste in my pindya. Not a lot of people do put pomegranate in their cooking. I do like my pomegranate, so this is a dried pomegranate which I've used. I've grinded it and I've added that in. It's just to give you that nice tangy taste. Okay, now I'm adding in some fresh coriander, so make sure you cut it fine. At this stage, my potatoes are melting in really, really nice. So do get yourself a knife and do keep checking up on your potatoes, because you want your potatoes to be cooked really nice and soft. Now you can see the pindya have really decreased in size too. So don't over mix your pot. Okay, now I'll be putting a lid on my wok and let it cook for 3-4 minutes on a very low heat. Okay, now take your lid off after 3-4 minutes and just check whether your potatoes are fully cooked. And potatoes look nice and soft here. So just stir it slowly. My finished piece of Pindya. There are various ways of making Pindya aloo. Some people cook their Pindya in oil separately. Once they've cooked that, then they cook their onions separately, and then they combine both the ingredients together. So there are various ways of cooking Pindya, but this is my way of making Pindya. Thank you for watching Ambreen's Creations. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope the video has given you lots of ideas. It would be lovely for you all to replicate this recipe. It's a very easy and a very simple recipe to follow. So please do try this recipe, and I can reassure you it tasted absolutely delicious. So thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.